WPTV.
Welcome back to the desk. With the second half of the NBA season getting underway, the trade deadline and the buyout season has passed us. We're here to break things down on the hardwood, and we have Justis, Danny, Tristin, and Nijee, our favorite NBA crew. Justis, we'll start with you. NBA trade deadline was yesterday. We saw a lot of big trades go down, but one of the bigger trades, we saw Victor Oladipo get traded from the Houston Rockets, and he got traded for the second time this season. He's going over to Miami in a trade for Avery Bradley and Kelly Olynyk and a 2022 first round draft swap. That's a lot right there. Now, Justis, the main question: we know what the Nets are already. We already know, but can the Heat? They were in the finals last year. Can they be the biggest threat to the Nets?
I think in the Eastern Conference, they are the biggest threat to the Nets. Because if you look at Victor Oladipo's stats, 21 points per game on 40% shooting, 4.8 rebounds, 5 assists. The Heat landed a third star. They landed a third star, and the most important part is the Rockets gave up Victor Oladipo for Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and a swap. The Rockets are down bad right now. They are down horrible right now.
It's frustrating.
But as for the Heat,
before you say something, Justice, listen to this. They could have had Karis LeVert, Jared Allen. Yeah. So you already know. We already know the Rockets are down bad. They lost like 17.
It's ridiculous, honestly.
Crazy.
Yeah. They're like past rebuilds. Like they
rebuilding. We already know.
Yeah. But as far as the Heat, though, Victor Oladipo adds more scoring to that Miami Heat team that already has a lot of scoring. And similar to Jimmy Butler, he's a great two-way player, so it adds even more defense. So I think that the entire Eastern Conference, including the Nets, should be worried.
Danny?
I completely agree. Honestly, the fact that they didn't have to give up any of the young pieces to get Oladipo is the greatest thing ever. They didn't have to give him none. They didn't have to give up Robinson or Hero. Literally, they got Oladipo for essentially a player who doesn't even play, and Kelly Olynyk. Sorry, Avery Bradley, you're perpetually injured. For me, though, the way I see this affects the East, I think for me, it puts them level with Philly, fully healthy, though. Like, fully healthy, I still think Nets are obviously far and away one, and then Philly and Miami are tied for second. But as of right now, if like injuries per se don't like change, they could compete with the Nets.
I'm around the same as them, but slightly different. Where I'm going to say this Nets three-headed Hydra is offensively. I can't see anybody stopping them. It's just going to be so rough. The only thing that I can think of the only Nets weakness I can think of is still their defense. That I'm sure eventually they're going to continue to improve on. Oladipo again adds another star to that team, but I don't know, man. As much as it pains me to say, I can't see anybody taking the Nets down for the East.
Yeah, I look, man. Justice throwing up W signs. Hey, we're not there yet. But hey, Tristan, I understand. Because look, when everybody's healthy, who's stopping KD, Kyrie, and Harden? Like, come on.
The three of them, like, if there's maybe just Harden one night, I'll give it to them. I'll give it to Miami. But if all three of them consistently throughout the entire series is healthy, bro.
Yeah, you can just give them the title.
Yeah, essentially. Nijee, what's your thoughts on this one?
Tristan took the words right out of my mouth. Honestly, I love the trade, but who on the Heat could stop KD? Really, no one. No. And Jimmy Butler is their best defender, but it's only one Jimmy Butler. Who he guarding? James Harden or Kyrie? And the other two are going to just have a field day. So at the end of the day, the Nets going to outscore every team they play against because it's just too much firepower on that Nets team. So love the trade, but the Nets team too much.
Yeah, and the Heat may also get LaMarcus Aldridge, who was bought out by the San Antonio Spurs. So if they add him, that's another nice pickup. But yeah, I think like Tristan and Nijee said, the Nets are come on now. But,
it's just not fair. And they're just greedy at this point, man. They're just greedy. Like they're just trying to sign everybody. Get out of my face with that.
I love how I don't even have to say it. I don't even got to say it. It's obvious now.
If they got Norman Powell, I would be sad.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. But moving along, we go from the East. Let's move to the West. We saw a big trade, and we saw Rajon Rondo go back to Los Angeles, but not the Lakers. He's going to the Clippers. Lou Will got traded to his hometown, Atlanta. Tristan, we'll go to you first. What do you think?
Listen,
Does this make the Clippers better or worse?
Listen, losing Lemon Pepper Lou, regardless of the lineup, is a little rough. But if you look at these stats, Samory, it is night and day. And it's kind of frustrating to me because while I think Rondo adds that veteran point guard presence who can facilitate the ball and kind of move it a little bit better for everybody, technically speaking, Lou Williams is averaging the same amount of assists. He's averaging 2% better from the field, and he's averaging almost 10 points more off the bench. I don't know if Rondo's been hurt. I don't know what's been going on in Atlanta.
You might not like the young kids. We got to think about that. You might not like the young kids.
But Lou Williams has been part of that Clippers team for forever now. So I don't see the point in trading him for Rajon Rondo when, technically speaking, Lou Williams has been playing better.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Justis, what are your thoughts on this one? Because I think this is a real big move for the Clippers. We're going to talk about that a little later, but I think this is a real big move for the Clippers.
Yeah, obviously, look, it doesn't make the Clippers better offensively, but I think it does make them better defensively. You know, I think that down the stretch, I think Rondo is going to do a good job guarding guards like Chris Paul, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard. And not only that, but Rondo rose to the occasion last playoffs. You know, him in the regular season last year and him in the playoffs were two different players. So I think that overall, I think this is a solid move for the Clippers. And it showed last year that the Clippers team, you know, doesn't work. So I think this is a solid move.
Yeah, I think they need some real veteran leadership. And we saw playoff Rondo's a thing. Like, that's not cap. It's a thing. It's really a thing.
I mean, it's better than playoff P.
Facts.
Me, I'm make it 3 for 3 because getting Rondo he's gonna hold Paul George and Kawhi Leonard accountable down the stretch because according to stats, they're one of the worst like clutch teams in the league, and he's gonna help that, and it puts less pressure on like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to do playmaking and stuff like that. He's gonna set up the offense. He's gonna be their point guard. For me, the only reason it's 50-50 is whether or not the way he's playing right now is going to be what he plays in the playoff, because I know playoff Rondo is real, but he's having a bad year.
Yeah, I think it's going to change once he goes back to LA. He knows the area. Nijee, close us out on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna just piggyback with everybody. The Clippers made this trade for the sole reason of the playoffs. They want Rondo here for the playoffs because they feel like Rondo can make a big difference as a true point guard. We love Pat Beverly, but he's not a true point guard. So having Rondo on that team, it just helped. It helped Kawhi and Paul George be better players as like better scorers. They're not playmakers, but that's why they got Rondo to do the playmaking. So I feel like the Clippers only for the playoffs. So let's see what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Now, Nijee, we're gonna stay with you. There were a lot of trades that went down yesterday, but there's a lot of them that's gone under the radar. And in the long run, which under the radar trade do you think is gonna have a big impact in the long run?
The Boston Celtics just got this guy from the Magic named Evan Fournier, and he's an underrated player, averaging 19 points, shooting 48% from the field, and 38 from the 3-point. He's a real underrated player in the league, and nobody watching him. So the Celtics are going to use him as a bench player. He'll come off the bench, and he going to add scoring power to that bench lineup. And so like watching them play, like I said, Boston may be a threat. They may go deep and play with this pickup.
Interesting, Danny.
For me, Samory, you know me, the Nuggets representative here, so I got to go with the Aaron Gordon trade. And honestly, not only that, but the JaVale McGee pickup makes up for the losses we had last year. It makes up for the losses we had last year because we didn't address the issues of losing Mason Plumlee and Jeremy Grant, and now we address those issues. And I feel like now the Nuggets are 10 deep once again.
Yeah, it's going to be – that was a real good pickup. I like both of those pickups. JaVale McGee has a lot of championship pedigree. He can help out Jokic defensively. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Nuggets do with that as they're getting better. There are a few – as the Lakers are dropping down, they're moving up in the standing. So it's going to be interesting. Tristin.
I liked a lot of the things that the Chicago Bulls did yesterday. And one of those things was Nikola Vucevic. The Magic seemed like they had a fire sale. Chicago capitalized. Chicago, before the All-Star break, was hovering around the 5 seed, and it seemed like they were going to be a serious team. But after everything, they're around the 10. They're slipping games. It seems like they're just kind of choking close games away. I think Vucevic kind of helps, not only veteran presence-wise, but I think he can help Zach LaVine close those games as well.
Yeah, Vucevic has been I think Vucevic is one of the more underrated players in the NBA. It just so happened that he played for the Magic and they're never on television. But he is a very good player. Justis, who you got?
I'm going to go with Norman Powell to the Trailblazers. I know a lot of people were upset to see Gary Trent Jr. go, especially since he was such a big part of that team when CJ McCollum was gone. But now that CJ McCollum is back, they don't have to worry about scoring as much, but they do have one of the worst defenses in the league. And I think that Norman Powell is going to help them with that. And I think that if they are going to make a run in the playoffs, he's going to be a big part of that, similar to what Rondo's going to do for the Clippers. So I like that move.
Yeah, and you just said it for me. I'm going to have to take Rondo going to the Clippers. And I'll say that because it may not be exactly what he does on the court, but it's off the court and in the locker room. The dude's a leader, and he's proven that. And, this season specifically, a lot of people's getting on Kawhi. He's not a leader, yada, yada. I don't think Kawhi's going to have to worry about that anymore. Rondo's a strong, fiery dude that will get them through the trenches. And Rondo can still hoop. I know the numbers are really bad this year, but the bubble wasn't that far away ago, and he was hooping in the bubble. So I'm going to give it to the Clippers, even though it pains me to say that. We moved from one LA team to another. You guys can hear it in my voice. LeBron James, Father Time might be tapping him on the shoulder. I hope not, but he suffered a high ankle sprain last week. They said he's going to miss another 3 to 6 weeks now. Anthony Davis, we don't know when he's coming back with his Achilles issue. And the Lakers made no trades yesterday. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? They had all these rumors, we're going to get him and him and him. Come on. And then all the people on the team now are going to be like, oh, y'all want to trade me? Especially somebody like Dennis Schroeder. This is his first year here. Y'all want to trade me already? But Justis, we'll go to you. Are they still favorites to come out the West? This is rough. This is not.
Let it all out, Samory. Let it all out.
Yeah, I have to, man. Like, this is madness.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Lakers should have made a move yesterday. I think they should have moved THT or Kyle Kuzma or KCP. Like, they have pieces. They could have made a move. I don't know why they didn't. But I mean, if you look at their upcoming schedule, they have a tough schedule. They have some they play some very good teams coming up. They play the Bucks on the 31st, the Clippers on the 4th, the Heat, the Nets. They have a back-to-back against the Jazz coming up. They're going to dip in the standings.
You know what that sounds like, Justis? Whole lot of L's.
That sounds like, yeah. I feel like they might drop to like the 7th seed. But honestly, I don't think seeding is that important in the West because I think that 1 through 8, they're all good teams. In the West, they're all great teams. So I think that if they focus on getting Anthony Davis and LeBron James healthy, I don't think it would matter as much. I mean, we saw LeBron take a 7 seed. Was it 7 seed or 4 seed Cavs team?
It was like a 5 seed
Cavs.
Yeah, I think
5th seed. Yeah.
2018
To the finals. Come on now. If LeBron James is there and he's healthy, I think they're still the favorites.
Danny?
Yeah, it's struggle. Samory, I feel for you right now. It is Struggleville. And honestly, they're going to drop in the standings. It's surprising to say that the Lakers are going to have to play in a playing game. And that's a very dangerous position to be in because those are just like one game and you're done.
It's essentially a game 7. 2 game 7 you got to play.
Which is crazy to think. But back to like the trading aspect thing, I don't know if they really had any tradable assets after the Anthony Davis trade. So if you really think about it, as much as you want to get rid of Kyle Kuzma, is he really a desirable trade asset?
I mean, when they played the Pelicans a couple days ago, Brandon Ingram's like, oh, they kept this guy over me. He made him like barbecue chicken every time. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Tristin, what's going on? Like,
I might be in a state of denial. I don't really know, but I think fear should probably start to set in a little bit. I kind of agree with Justis's point that seeding doesn't really matter that much. If LeBron is healthy, he's going to do his thing. But with no LeBron and no Anthony Davis, the Lakers are definitely going to drop in seeding. It's just going to make their run to the finals a little bit harder. I think we all know that if they're healthy, they're going to make it back there anyway. But with them gone, them dropping in the rankings, it makes those playoff matchups like you might play a game 6 or a game 7 more than you would originally like to.
Nijee?
Well, so much sadness for just this one topic. Come on.
So
Let's be optimistic. We get so by LeBron being injured and AD injured, we letting these other people, other role player, wouldn't get this star time to get comfortable, get their scoring in. And look, they're gonna go back, they're gonna go down the season, of course, but it just for LeBron and AD to come back. Watch, I'm gonna paint that for y'all. LeBron gonna come back first. They're gonna be like 6-7 seed. The AD gonna come back. They both gonna be fully healthy, and they're gonna make a run to the finals, like LeBron always do. Get LeBron to the play. If LeBron gets into the playoffs, they go to the finals.
Nijee, in this stretch coming up, Kyle Kuzma is going to be the first option. I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers don't win again until AD LeBron comes back.
Hey, look, I'm an optimistic fan of all my teams, but Justis, I might have to agree with you there.
I mean, look, it's not just that. Like, look, the Nets just missed KD, Kyrie, and Harden against the Jazz. We lost by like 30. Like, it's just what happens. You know, the Lakers they're gonna dip.
Yeah, sadly, but that's all for this block. This block was fun. We got a lot of stuff we had a lot of stuff to talk about in this block. It was fun, but we got some big news in the NFL. Oh, the guys got a lot of breaking news happened this day on the NFL. I don't know what's going on. Schefter's going crazy, but we're gonna break all that down coming up next here on WP Sports Desk.